how are you choosing?
What,
Oh,
Pete?
how are you choosing order?
Well, let me
Draft
talk
order.
about it. Let me talk about
He's choosing chaos.
This podcast is going to be insane.
It's it is Draftamania 2023. We are back with our big time Draftmania contest of champions, as it were. You know this voice is me, your voice. He's the host most of the things right here on the Poprika Network, man. One of the draft champs, and I'm joined by a number of people. Let's go down the list and see who we have. I guess we should kick it off with our current draft champion, Mark Sizzlechest. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm not used to being the current champion, I'll tell you that. But I'm doing great.
Glad to have you here. You snuck in on our last draft, our Heroes Draft 2. You did a good job there, sir. Excellent episode. Excellent. It was the will of the people. I was mightily impressed with your list. We also have with us Star Wars draft champ Leslie Mansell. If she's on the call, where'd she go? Are you there?
I'm right here.
Okay, cool. So you are here. How are you doing? How are you feeling today, ma'am, about this draft?
Fantastic. Totally not lying at all. I'm really confident.
The furious Googlings of a person 2 hours ago. We also have with us draft champ Pete Lentz, two-time draft champ Pete Lentz. How are you doing, sir?
What is happening, buddy? I'm ready to go.
We have awesome. No Pete Bot this time, man.
No Pete Bot.
You are live and in the flesh. I'm glad you can make it here, sir.
Thanks, buddy.
We also have draft champ Carol Coles of Reef Ride Scenes fame. How are you doing today, Carol?
I'm doing good. Speaking of, we're going to edit an episode after this.
And what is that episode that they will have already heard by the time they hear this?
Absolutely. Let the right one in and let me in.
That's right. That's right. I'm here all for that. Excellent episode. We also have with us two-time or three-time, can't remember which off the top of my head, draft champ Brian Martin in the house, sir.
Experiencing a bit of a drought in draft wins. So yeah, I don't remember either. I remember I won I think I won a Marvel one at some point.
In the superhero draft.
Superhero draft. Yeah, I definitely won the superhero draft. Yeah, I don't know. I'm happy to be here though. Put a lot of thought into this today.
No, we didn't. All right, then we're gonna.
No, I didn't. I did not. I hastily made a list year by year going back to the 30s, and
incredible.
Wikipedia was my friend.
I did too. Yeah.
Wikipedia was also my friend.
I guarantee you that a single Poprika will know shit from the 30s.
Oh, I think you are very incorrect.
I think Joel Winstead knows at least one or two.
We also have a four-time draft champ, Jermon Jackson. How are you doing today, good sir?
Doing well. Also current tag champs too.
Also tag team champs, sir. My tag team champ, where we have successfully defended our belts. We have a possible title defense coming up later on down the road. And lastly, we have last year's Draftamania draft champ, just looking like an out of work lumberjack all over the Zoom.
With the diet to match.
We have Mr. Joel Winstead of Winstead's Reviews. How are you doing today, sir?
Good. Glad to be back at the only competition that I can maybe win.
Yeah, well, you know what? Life's not a game, or is it? I love that sweet Raiders hat that you're rocking, sir. It's bringing energy today. All right, let's get this bad boy on a roll. And if you're listening to this, you've probably listened to our drafts before. This one being a little bit different. Usually we just have 4 people drafting, but like I said earlier, this is the contest of champions. We have all won drafts, and we will all come together to draft Best Picture nominees in honor of the Oscars that have now come and gone, the Motion Picture Academy of Arts and Sciences. We are drafting Best Picture nominees. We're not doing the full 10, or we will be here all day long. We're only doing 5 each, which will give us a total of our usual 40 picks. So I have already predetermined the order to get that out of the way, and the order is such, thanks to my randomizer app on my phone. Starting at number 1, it's the current champ, Sizzlechest.
Oh, man! Oh.
Yes. Number 2 being myself. Number 3 being Reef Ride Scenes, Carol Coles. Number 4, Jermon Juicy J. Jackson. Number 5.
Smack dab in the middle.
Number 5, the other half of those 2 clowns, Brian Martin. Number 6, Pete Bot 3000, Pete Lentz. Number
Affirmative.
7, number 7, Leslie Mansell, and number 8 is the Draftamania champ on the turn, Winstead. Also having his dinner while we do this draft.
You're supposed to eat on a podcast, right?
So his appetizers were plain saltines. What are you eating over there, Joel?
Chicken salad. What you got over there?
So for
Cheese
the
whiz.
first course,
Cheese whiz.
this is a microwaved waffle with a
What?
drizzle of Canadian prime syrup.
I'm starting to think that maybe your thought about winning competitions might be correct. At least
See, this time it's not me eating.
As long as
Not
it's
winning
not
the Iron Man, but maybe the Hungry Man.
something will be won today here, sir. All right, Sizzle.
Hey, what are we drinking? What are we drinking?
Oh,
We
good
made a whole
question.
big thing about the
Question.
drinking, right?
Drinking.
Paired with the waffle,
Mhm.
I have all the way from Texas a Shiner Bock.
Yeah, Shiner Bock.
Yes, love a good
Nom
Shiner
nom
Bock.
nom.
Sizzle Chest. I see you sipping on something. What do you have, sir?
Liquid Death because it's Sunday and I'm trying to rehydrate from the weekend.
All right,
So,
makes sense. Makes sense.
doing a great job, like selling us water that looks kind of like a beer.
You can drink it out in public and won't be judged. Pete, what do you have?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm drinking from the local brewery Sugar Creek. I am drinking a Mocha Java Porter.
Yes, I've had many. I've admitted.
It's muy tasty.
Muy tasty. What about you, Leslie Mansell?
I am drinking a Saranac S'mores Porter.
Ooh,
Delicious.
A s'morter.
I'm jealous.
A s'morter. And you,
S'morter.
Mr. Brian Martin, what do you have for us today?
Oh, baby, guys, straight from North Carolina. Got the Bojangles
God damn it.
hard sweet tea, baby.
You know, I passed that in the store and I didn't think anybody was going to have the balls to come on with some Bojangles hard sweet tea. Brian Martin, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
I'm about to pass it a bit later, Pete.
we got to break you Carolinians of your love of Bojangles. I have 10W40 Imperial Stout brew with coffee, chocolate, and vanilla.
I've had that one. That's a good beer.
You're damn straight it is.
God, I'm the only one not drinking beer.
You're not the only one. You're not the only one. What do you have though, ma'am? Are you just straight water?
Oh no, that's a gin and tonic.
Oh,
I'm
gin
classy
and
as fuck.
You're classy as fuck.
No one would ever debate you otherwise. And Jermon, what do we have, Jermon? I saved the best
Come on,
for
you
last.
already know, man. Clear American. Blue
Clear
raspberry.
American.
Pull out the good stuff today.
Oh,
Now, wait a minute. Hold on. I got a question.
Mhm.
Blue raspberry has been a thing for a long time, and I always assumed it was because, well, red candies were strawberry or cherry, and they needed, like, we couldn't have a third red candy.
Mhm.
But water is clear. So why do we need blue raspberry water? Jermon.
You said that like I'm a fucking scientist here. I don't know shit about Walmart sciences here.
The Walmart scientists also don't know shit about Walmart science. So let us get this rolling. Sizzle Chest, the floor is yours. Best Picture nominees. What is the first one you're going with?
Well, I'm gonna take the one off the table that I think all of us would fight for if I'm first, and I'm gonna get stabbed for it. Star Wars: A New Hope, 1977.
Yeah.
Fucking hate you.
Yeah, I know. I mean, listen, I didn't intend at any point that I was gonna get to say this out loud, but also the reason it is because this movie is the will of the people. This is not an art house flick. This is not something that's making people think deep thoughts. This is a movie where people took models and went like whoosh and pew 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 pew, and people saw it 1,000 times and changed the world, and it won or it was nominated for an Oscar, and I love that. Like that's awesome to me, and also Star Wars. So that.
So you're starting with you're taking the man of the people approach with this
Yeah,
first pick.
absolutely. I'm going pure butt rock here. Like I've decided that like in my age at this time, I listen to complex music. I prefer my movies to be a good time. Like I actually have a film minor. I know when it's well made, it's great. I want to be entertained.
Okay, right on. Now, Star Wars has been drafted a number of times in a number of different categories by a number of us here. One of those people is not Carol Coles. Carol, what they've heard our thoughts a million times on Star Wars. What about Star Wars do you love?
Everything.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Excellent answer.
seriously. It's such a simple story. It's such a simple story, but it's told so very, very well, and it changed the way movies were made, basically.
Yeah, not much more you can say about Star Wars than that. Do you have anything to add to this, Winstead? You are dangerously close to your camera right now. Like you got something to say.
No,
He's
well, I
trying
was just
to
going to say,
intimidate us.
it made me think, because Avatar is also a very simple story, but I prefer Star Wars
For
over
Star Wars
Avatar
so much more.
any day. But because Star Wars has that magic.
Yeah. Oh, that.
You would say the Avatar
What
doesn't
won that
have
year?
magic?
No, Avatar sucks.
Annie Hall.
Avatar is terrible.
Annie Hall won, I do believe, there, Carol.
Yeah, it did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The less we
Yeah.
talk
Gross.
about Woody Allen, the better.
Yeah.
Agreed.
It is.
Because Lord knows they re-released that one in the 25th anniversary and made so many
Right.
special editions.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, Jabba the Hutt. The Jabba the Hutt scene in Annie Hall is so good.
Love the part where
Really
Diane
pulls the
Keaton
film
steps
together.
over Woody Allen to get to the other side of the screen. Excellent. Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope kicks us off. I would say we are well underway here. It comes to me for the second overall pick in this bad boy. Man, I'm just gonna go ahead and take it. I'm taking Get Out.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go
Okay.
ahead and take
Yeah.
Get Out. Not the one that people thought I was going to go for first, I do believe.
Yeah.
I will save that for people's complaining somewhere on down the road, I suspect. Listen, Get Out, everyone knows how dope it was. No one saw it coming, especially not from the guy who was doing Key and Peele and who did Keanu, like, what, the year before that or something like that? Or was in Keanu?
Year after. Wasn't it the year after?
Keanu was after Get Out?
That was before.
It was the
Before.
okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that was before.
Dope as fuck, scary as fuck, all sorts of themes and allegories and layers to it, man. It's dope. Pete, what you got on Get Out?
Man, I love that flick. I really did. Like I've met, that's so wild. I've met so many white people that are just like Bradley Whitford.
Mhm.
No. Yeah,
No.
yeah,
Yeah.
Bradley,
Yeah.
yeah, Bradley Whitford. I've met so many white people that are just like that. I mean, to the best of my knowledge, they didn't all, hypnotize black people and force other people into their brains or anything. But they were very much like that secret racism, but ass kissing kind of, and it was kind of fantastic to see them get shit on at the end. It was just great when Whitford is sitting there going, well, I could have voted for Obama for a third time if I could. Shut the fuck up. Shut up.
This is why we
Treating
have
black
people
people.
on these shows.
It's white people treating black people as a novelty act,
Yeah,
and,
for
and
sure.
a novelty act they enjoy, and that's
Mhm.
and that's the level of that's where they think you are. you know?
Brian, I think you're talking
Yeah.
about football right now.
Oh, I could be talking about a lot of things.
They
Yeah.
kind of touched
Hey,
on
now
that. In,
there's like 2 white people that play football. It's cool.
What you got, Javon?
I was gonna say they kind of touched on that with Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character in You People,
Yeah, it does have, yes, very
where
much.
she was
has
kind of
that thing.
treating the what's her name as like a novelty.
Who is that?
That's Lauren London.
Lauren London, thank you very much. Good call. Not a good movie.
More
though.
science fiction, man.
More science fiction. Jonah Hill ain't pulling that. All right, then. We move on to our next joint. Third person on the list, Carol J. Coles. Middle name Love. What you got, Carol?
I'm gonna go with Jaws.
Oh, I thought she was going to do it.
Nice.
And Winstead leaves the conversation.
First Spielberg goes off the board.
All right, then. Jaws. Speak about it for a little bit, please.
This is the one movie that has altered my very being because I refuse to go in the ocean, and it's because of this movie. Because I know, I know ghosts probably don't exist. I know a lot of creatures don't exist, but great white sharks, they exist and they eat you. And this was the first summer blockbuster, and it was perfect in the fact that the damn shark didn't work.
Nah,
Yeah.
It was
he still
like-
managed to
Yeah.
make it go anyway.
yeah, and nothing beats the score. So yeah, Jaws.
I'm not sure I agree with that. Ghosts don't exist. Have you seen how white Leslie Ellsworth is? Leslie, what do you have on Jaws?
Wow.
Look, I was messing with the lighting to try to make myself have a little more color, and it just doesn't work. I look like a vampire no matter what I do.
See what's about to happen. We're about to see her walk in and Daryl's frame and just beat the crap out of her.
Leave her Brady
Did you have to invite her in onto this?
Daryl, get out.
Good
Get out.
joke. Good joke. Leslie, yeah, but Jaws. When was the last time you saw Jaws? Is it one you think of when you think of Spielberg flicks?
It's not the first that comes to mind when I think of Spielberg, but it's definitely high up there in my memory of films. What I gained from that film was an inability to watch creepy underwater scenes with my feet touching the floor. They come up onto the couch with me. But no, I loved Jaws. Same thing, exactly. Great white sharks are fucking real.
Yep.
No, thank you.
Winstead, what you got on Jaws, sir?
That's a perfect movie, a stone cold masterpiece. Right out the gate, it's horror, it's magic. It's got that movie magic, but it's also got that other oomph, it's got the John Williams score. It's like 8 different combinations of perfect coming together for more perfection. Yeah.
Right.
It was my number one pick.
You mentioned like the shark not working and stuff like it. I think like Star Wars had a similar production where it's like none of this shit is working, everything's falling apart all the time, and it's like this perfect blend of all the glue that they needed to make this perfect movie. Like this is falling apart and this is falling apart, but we'll get this and we'll get this, and we're all putting it together and just leaving nothing behind. And you get that's when you get real magic.
Yeah, it's one of those like desperation breeds creativity and innovation, and they're way more suspenseful because you don't see Bruce half the time. He just pops up.
We're doing these things not because we can, but because we have to.
Yeah, we don't want the studio default.
We have a release window.
This has to work or we're fucked.
Pretty much our careers are done. German, your first pick off the board, sir, is?
All right, we're going to go ahead and play the recency bias game and go for everything, everywhere, all at
God
once.
damn it.
Damn it.
Brian is surprised. I feel like I share Brian's surprise in this
because you knew what I was going to.
I was halfway to typing it already. All right.
Yeah, and now I'm like thinking like because like there's a certain number of my number one picks that have not been taken off the board yet, and I'm like, these fuckers know something I don't.
The question is, do you now snipe German from his next pick?
Probably.
You want to talk about Everything Everywhere for a second, German?
Dude, that movie, like, it might be in my top 5 now. Like, it is that good a damn movie. It's one of those movies that like hits so many notes and crosses so many genres. It's like, it's a sci-fi movie, it's a kung fu movie, it's a dark comedy, it's a family movie.
It's a love story.
It's a love story. Yeah.
Finally, we got a movie about tax day. That was the holiday.
Yeah. I'm going to watch that every April 15th.
Every April 15th. That's the new tradition. I'm enjoying it.
That movie was literally everything, everywhere, all at once.
Sizzle Chest, have you checked this out?
So I've been trying to get my wife to sit down with me to do this. I'm like saving it for date night. And I'm like, babe, let's watch it tonight. And she's like, yes. And then we don't. And I'm like, I'm going to watch it without you. But that's a thing where like, if you watch it without her, then she's mad about it. But
and then she won't watch it.
So then it won Best Picture. And I'm like,
that's justification.
We gotta do it now.
I wish you all the luck.
As soon as he said that, I'm like, great. And I bet he's going to pick me to talk about it. I'm trying to be a good husband.
was not expecting the therapy that was coming in this episode. Carol, do you have anything on Everything Everywhere?
I absolutely adore the character of Waylon, and it is so refreshing to see a kind, masculine character on screen that doesn't need to punch and kick. He does, but that's Alpha Waylon. That doesn't need to punch, kick, and slaughter his way through everything. I
he patiently wait for his wife to watch a movie with him?
Yeah.
He seems like the type
He
of character
would.
that would. Yes.
He would.
I challenge.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
I truly think he should have been nominated for Best Actor, but I'm glad he won Best Supporting.
Yeah, I challenge anyone to watch that monologue about him about being kind without shedding a tear.
God,
Yeah,
I can't.
I can't.
I
I'm
can't.
tearing up right now thinking about it.
Like even his Oscar speech, like just bawling. Like
Great movie. He is great in it. If you have not checked out Everything Everywhere All at Once, please do yourself all the favors and check it out. Mr. Martin, the floor is yours.
Well, I am going to take one of those movies I thought would be gone by now off the list. I am, for the most part, my whole strategy here is finding those who were wronged and correcting it on my list, being nominees that were not just great movies, but lost to objectively inferior films. The first of which is Saving Private Ryan.
I knew it. I fucking knew it.
Yep.
I think Saving Private Ryan is probably at least the 90s poster child for movies that got the shaft come Best Picture.
Yeah, thanks to a incredibly well-oiled machine of a campaign by he who shall not be named on this show, Shakespeare in Love ended up with the Oscar that year.
Yeah,
not a terrible film.
Think about
definitely not Saving Private Ryan.
And think about, like, when we go back and even Annie Hall now, like Annie Hall is a great movie with a very unfortunate person behind it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually very funny, but yeah.
But as far as the cultural impact of Star Wars, which of course is not something they could have known in 77, like, tell me that ain't your Best Picture. Like, this defines cinema we're still feeling it, and Saving Private Ryan is like the quintessential war movie that informed every war movie for the next decade, and it lost to Shakespeare in Love.
You hate to see it.
Which is a movie nobody's chomping at the bit to watch these days, and nobody really talks about anymore.
They do talk about it. They talk about it and how it shafted Saving Private Ryan.
In this context, this is the only time it comes up. So I mean, let's just take out the entire just absolutely emotionally devastating movie. Just focus in on the first 20 minutes of Saving Private Ryan. That alone could win Best Picture.
Listen, they made video games about that scene for the next 20 years too.
Yeah.
Shout out to Medal of Honor. Winstead, man, what you got on Saving Private Ryan?
Man, Saving Private Ryan. Well, Steven Spielberg is one of my favorite directors of all time, but I watched Saving Private Ryan when I was a teenager, and I thought it was like awesome, like a war movie, a lot of action, a lot of cool kills. And then I watched it as a husband and a father, and I wept the entire time. There's like a realism and a humanity to it that a lot of war movies miss because they're too trying to focus on either the action like Hacksaw Ridge, or they're a little bit too melodramatic like We Were Soldiers. But Saving Private Ryan is like kind of the perfect example of blending all of those things without being melodramatic or too in your face.
I thought you were gonna say it focused too much on the action like Hacksaw Ridge, or that it was too melodramatic like Hacksaw Ridge.
Right. Just one more.
That's pretty much what all that movie is. Pete, last words on Saving Private Ryan, sir?
It's one of the most visceral war movies ever made. It perfectly manages to encapsulate like the actual the physical horrors of war, and in terms of people being shot and watching their friends, guys they were just talking to die on the beach and that kind of thing. But it also explores the psychological horrors of war as well, and the real horrors of war for people back home. I mean, the entire point of the movie was to go get the last son of a family of four, or a family of four children, because the other three had already died. And it was just it's the horror of war from so many different angles, whereas many war movies only focus on one or two, possibly, the effects on the main character. But in Saving Private Ryan, that's like, who is the main character? I mean, it can be argued that it's Tom Hanks's character, but that is an ensemble cast, and the emotion and weight of the film actually rests kind of on all of them, not just Tom Hanks. I mean, it really is. It's one of the most perfect war films of all time, in my opinion.
I'll never forget when we were running this movie at the movie theater I worked at, and about 30 minutes into it, this old guy came out in the hallway and just vomited.
Oh,
Jesus!
Yeah.
So that's what I got to say. That's what I've got to say about it.
So powerful now.
And I believe that guy might have been there.
Yeah.
You know.
And
So
He vomited
fuck
again.
Corporal Upham.
I always thought that
was
Oscar
there.
That was maybe the best review I saw of the film.
Yeah,
old man vomiting in
old
hallway.
man vomiting. Should put that in the marketing. Pete, it is on you, sir, for your first
God.
pick.
Oh God. Okay. Man, so many good things off the list already.
Yeah, why aren't you holding your lightsaber anymore? Is there a reason for that?
You know, Mark, I'm picking up what you're putting down, and I don't like it.
Down. You should pick it up. You put it down. You put down the lightsaber.
I know what you're doing right now. Man, so much good, but
I would like to point out, Pete, that if you went with Little Women, you get 10 titties in that movie.
How many titties would I get if I get women talking?
This is also
like
a good number there.
No, I'm gonna go with for crying out loud. I'm gonna go with Rocky.
Damn it! You got me back. Oh, you got me back.
I'm gonna go with Rocky. Just one of the best, well told underdog stories just of all time. Probably the performance of Sylvester Stallone's career. Burgess Meredith, of course, is the great trainer, and you've got Carl Weathers. Yeah, I mean, it's just a wonderful film, and you got so many iconic scenes in that too. The run up the stairs, which is why there's a statue of Rocky on those stairs now. Like it's
moved to the convention center.
It did.
Oh, is it? They
Yeah.
moved it. That's lame. That's
now you run all the way up the stairs. You got to run all the way back down into the convention center. It's actually just making it harder. I think that's like athletic inflation.
That's right.
But yeah, Rocky, man, it's so good. It's so good. I love it.
Right on. I do believe it might be one of Stallone's best. I don't know if it's his number one best. That might still go to First Blood Part 1. I don't know. That's up in the air. Carol, what you got on Rocky? Are you a sports movie person at all?
I am and I amped. So Rocky is actually one of the ones that I actually really like. It's the only Rocky movie that I like.
Fair.
You can keep the rest of them, really. Until you get to Creed. Yes, even 4. Unless we're making fun of it. Is that the one with the robot?
No.
Oh wait, is that the one with the robot?
The robot is 3?
Yeah, 3 is the robot.
4 is the Russian.
Well, 3 is a work of genius then. Yeah.
It's Mr. T. Show some respect.
It's the best boxing film until you get to Creed.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, James Brown wrote a whole song for watch a man get murdered in the ring.
Basically, the Cold War ended because of Rocky 4, but yeah, you could throw it away if you want to.
We're going to be doing a little bit of McCarthyism, checking into Carol's backgrounds to make sure she's not a sleeper agent. Joel, what's your number one Rocky movie?
Ooh. The first one, because it was like like one of the first movie I can remember watching with my father. But what was the one? Yeah, Rocky 4 is pretty great. Man, Creed. I like Rocky and Creed, man.
Okay, right on.
Yeah.
Can I just say it's nice that he didn't win in Rocky, and that wasn't the point.
Yeah, that wasn't the point. It also leads to a ballin' ass Rocky Part 2.
Yeah.
Right on. Leslie M. It is on you for your first pick, ma'am.
I'm I'm gonna go with The Wizard of Oz.
Excellent choice.
Wow. I thought that was safe for a while.
I'm scratching it too. Yeah.
Same here.
Relating back to that, just how it affected film overall, that shift into color, still beautiful. And just a great story of friendship and a little bit of adventure and whimsy and creepy witches. I love it.
For those of you keeping score, Winstead has now switched to it looks like a bologna and cheese sandwich that he is eating.
It's a full ass Lunchable.
This is a chicken salad sandwich with a garnish of looks like pickle.
Very nice, very nice.
With a garnish of Canadian
drizzle
maple syrup.
Leslie, of the companions of Scarecrow, Tin Man, Lion, which of the three do you rock out with the most?
Tin Man.
Tin Man?
Yeah. I'm probably most like Scarecrow, but Tin Man's my favorite.
Every day my alarm clock goes off, Leslie sits up in the bed. She goes, "Put him up, put him up." Jermon, what? Same question for you, Jermon. Which of the companions that joins Dorothy was the one that you rock out with?
I gotta be a Scarecrow. Like if I only had a brain, slap so hard.
It does. It does.
It does in fact slap.
It does in fact slap. Pete, what about you?
I would have to go with the Scarecrow as well. I mean, he's just such an unassuming leader, man, and he's the one that ends up like getting the brain award, but spends most of the movie just trying to make sure everybody else is okay. I mean, he's a natural leader, and ergo the smartest and best, or whatever. He's just a great character. He's just a really good character, and I would like to see myself in some of his mannerisms.
Mostly a great dancer,
floppy, silly dancing.
What about you there, Sizzle Chest?
The Lion for me. First, my dad was in the theater and played him in the theater, so he was always kind of like a staple in the house. But I've always loved I think the trope of somebody who is supposed to be seen as strong and tough and a threat who just can't muster it is always a fun dichotomy.
And you're a big sissy, so that's cool.
Exactly.
Your dad being in the theater. Dude, your dad being in the theater makes so much sense now. It informs.
Right? Yeah.
It informs so much about you. A man who's all about showmanship. For those of you listening who are unaware, the Sci-Fi Channel back in the day did a limited show called Tin Man. Which is a very good show. This early Zoe Deschanel, Alan Cumming, just hamming it up all over the screen, man. Worth checking out there. Winstead, you're on the turn. End round one, begin round two.
Okay, so going last is both the best and the absolute worst. If I could show you my list, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they're all erased because they've been taken from me.
Good.
So now we're just doing a bunch of audibles. I'm gonna go grab another beer in a little bit. This is supposed to see how this goes. Still a lot of great movies out there. God. Okay, so the first one I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring. When Return of the King won Best Picture, it was like they gave him an award for like the trilogy.
Right.
But the first one is the best one. I thought about trying to get all three of them. I'm not going to do that.
That's all the eggs in one basket, right?
But then what would the other two movies be? It wouldn't match the theme.
Right. It would have been like Green Book and
Crash.
Nomadland kind of works. Like you could put Nomadland in there.
All right. Okay, a little bit. All right. Maybe some Inglourious Basterds, some dudes just walking around.
Sure, yeah. Nomadland, terrible movie. Okay, so
Yeah, but we can all agree that Mount Doom and Amazon are kind of the same thing,
right? Second pick. Now I got to watch all y'all pick again, and then go all the way back down and pick again, and I'm gonna be a shell of a human being when that is done.
God, I love it.
So I'll have to go crazy with those other picks. So for right now, I feel really strongly. I'm gonna take Moonlight.
God damn.
You mean La La Land?
That's where I thought Brian was going when he said the rightful winners.
I thought I was going for La La Land.
No, I thought you were gonna like make a joke and do
This
Moonlight.
is not a joke. Moonlight won Best Picture.
I thought that Moonlight's great. It's like it's an experience. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It's very different. The emotions and everything I felt watching Moonlight. It sticks out in my head like more so than almost any other Best Picture winner. It's a really emotional, human. Like you can feel it. Like it resonates. And it's like in the movie, it's like a great little tug job on the beach.
I went back and I listened to Draftamania 2022, which for those who didn't listen was best drama, and all of the blowjob on the beach jokes were made back then. So we're going to skip over all those. Carol, what?
It wasn't a blowjob.
I'm pretty sure it was a blowy.
I thought it was a handy.
No, was it a handy? It was this. Was that a handy or the world's smallest violin? I'm not sure which one. Carol,
Leslie would like to be anywhere else right now.
Carol, what's your thoughts on Moonlight?
Moonlight is actually a beautiful film, and I was so disappointed when they said La La Land, and then I was like so happy when they said no, it's wrong. I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. The universe went back into the correct, rotation or whatever. I think it I don't know, you can say representation, but I think it's just a beautiful story. So, and it's beautifully acted.
It is beautifully acted. It's beautifully shot. Some of the better cinematography we'd seen from A24 at the time.
And that poster is so wonderful. The 3 stages, just the way they melded the 3 stages of his life. I can't
remember how many times I looked at that poster without even realizing it.
Yeah.
And then I saw the movie and it still took a few more look at that, it was very interesting, the marketing on that poster, but the movie itself,
and beautifully cast that they could actually do that with the 3 actors.
Yeah. I just when I saw Moonlight, I thought I have not seen this story before.
Mm-hmm.
I've not seen a movie like this before, and we're 5-6 years later now. I still haven't seen one since. It's Moonlight 100% deserved to win Best Picture that year.
I agree. I had La La Land in my Oscar pick that year, and I won, and then I lost.
Yeah, have you ever seen?
Stop the count. Stop the count.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a movie where all 3 actors playing Sharon just brought their A game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all 3 actors did a great job. One went on to become the RZA. And and one was in talks to be Green Lantern. That never happened.
Shouts out to Naomi Harris.
Shouts out to Naomi Harris.
Well. Usually you get 3 people playing the same character for stages of their life in one movie, and one of them's just a complete fuck up. You're well, what's this? What's with this dipstick?
That guy.
And we didn't get that with this. Leslie, we're back over to you after shaking up everybody's world with Wizard of Oz. Where are you going next? Maybe you will go to the 1940s this time.
Next. I'm going with The Godfather.
There it is.
The Mafia Wank Fest.
The Carrier Coles Mafia Wank Fest has begun.
Look, I'm not never said it was a bad film. It was on my list.
I just think the phrase mafia wankfest will never not be funny to me. And when I was making my list, I have here The Godfather, and in parentheses it says Carol Cole's Mafia Wankfest. Talk about The Godfather there, Leslie.
Oh, just a beautiful film. One of those cultural touchstones that I heard about but never watched growing up, and honestly didn't think it could live up to the hype. And it did amazingly well. Yeah, just the slow descent of Michael from, getting out of the family life to being drawn right back into it. It's very well portrayed.
Very well portrayed. Sizzle Chest, what's your thoughts on The Godfather, sir?
So it's an excellent movie. I think it's overrated.
Oh.
I know. Listen, I personally, I like my mafia with a little bit more business and a little bit less like chit chat, a little bit more doodad. Like I want to
doodad.
That is killing people.
Sonny did that.
Yeah, a few of them did. But first of all, it wasn't allowed in my house because we're a bunch of Italians and it was a negative stereotype. So I didn't watch it until I was an adult. And then it didn't live up to the hype when I did watch it. And I was like, I don't know about this thing. And then Casino, even though it's tremendously boring, is like the best business mob movie ever. Goodfellas had, I think, better characters. I think that there was other mob stuff. Yellowstone is a better business of the mafia. Yeah, it is. It's a better it's because in The Godfather it feels assumed, especially the first one. It feels assumed. You don't the ascension. I mean, they do the time travel shots in the third movie, but I like seeing the work that a mob crew can do, the business of it.
You want to see the guy go into the pizza oven.
Is your favorite part
to my boy?
Is your favorite part of Goodfellas the part where they're slicing that garlic in prison?
Yeah, probably.
Look how they
that's
do
work.
dad,
That's
my
work.
boy.
Do you know how hard that is?
Show me the way. Yeah, absolutely.
Show your work.
Show your work. Pete, last thoughts on Godfather before we move on?
It is one of the quintessential mob movies for sure, but I'm gonna have to agree with Sizzle on this one.
My God.
But wait, saying that it's overrated doesn't make it a bad film.
I didn't say it was bad. It's an excellent movie.
It is an excellent film. I think mafia shit has been done better in other films.
Carol,
there wouldn't be any mafia shit if it was.
Winstead, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But what is that? Stood on the shoulders of geniuses to accomplish something. It's like that. It's you have the mob movie, and then you have someone go, well, I can make a mob movie, and then you get Goodfellas. So I think personally, Goodfellas is a better mob movie than, and it's certainly more fun for me to watch. I also am a huge fan of The Untouchables too.
There's a good one.
The Untouchables is a hell of a gangster film.
Yeah.
And Bob De Niro, come on,
all right,
do it as Bob De Niroist.
Pete, it is on you.
You're not allowed talking a badge.
It's
Pete,
on you
come back
Pete.
to us, Pete.
Your next pick, sir.
Oh, it's me. Shit.
Yeah.
All right. I am going to. This might not be the wisest choice, but it is an excellent film. It is definitely my favorite war movie. I'm going to pick Platoon.
Man, is that Oliver Stone?
It is.
Yes.
Yeah, Ollie Stone. Yeah.
Winner that year. Won Best Picture in 86.
Yeah, something like that. Speak on it there, sir.
I absolutely love that. There is not a single bit of wasted frame in this movie. Every single character, every single actor in the movie is firing on all cylinders. It's just top tier performances from Tom Berenger, Charlie Sheen. I mean, look at what a mess Charlie Sheen is these days. Fucking tiger blood, piss and vinegar, or whatever the fuck he is. But like
I think now it's HIV, but go ahead.
yeah, right.
Bones riddled with it.
Right. But that, I mean, him in that film, like, he's got so much pathos and agony over where he is and what he is doing. He does, even the other soldiers around him are like, they're trying to do their shit and have fun and trying to make the best of a bad situation. And he still looks at all of them like, why are we doing all this? What are we doing here? And Tom Berenger is fantastic in it. Fucking Willem Dafoe, like when he like at the end, like Berenger's character thinks he's killed him, and then they're evacing. And here comes Elias is running down the field and gets the shot. And of course he gets the cover art of the box set of him with his arms up to the sky. And you get that the score in that movie is so brilliant. And it's to me it's a perfect film. I don't think there's anything, there's no bit of screen that's wasted in that movie. I just think it's
when they're filming that scene, when Defoe goes down on his knees, he's like, "This is the fucking poster right here. This has to be
100%.
Yeah. Oh, I think Stone 100% looked at that and was like, "That's it right there." Like,
right on. This cast is so stacked. Keith David is near bottom tier.
Dude,
Forrest Whitaker, Tony Todd, yes.
Yeah.
The Candyman in Vietnam is all you
Glover, the lead singer of Living Color, is in this fucking movie.
Kevin Dillon.
Kevin Dillon. Holy shit, you see that fucking head come apart, man?
This movie is wildly violent. It shows you
wildly violent.
Horrors of
but
war.
Necessarily violent, because I think every single bit of violence in that movie, including the trigger warning for rape, because there is some of that, down to and including that, like the audience, Oliver Stone is basically showing the audience that people getting shot was not the only terrible thing that happened in that conflict, in the Vietnam conflict.
And kind of hitting it on the head. And I think that the one thing that the war genre, the way it transformed in like the late 70s and 80s as a result of Vietnam,
right,
was
the Deer Hunter,
profound, and it just completely affected war movies moving forward, right? The Deer
100%.
Hunter, Full Metal Jacket, and then you've got Platoon, and it's like war is not an honorable, a ceaselessly honorable thing anymore. It's not a thing that just breeds heroes and that's all they are. It's a deeply it's a conflict in more than one way, right?
It goes a long way to showing that the U.S. were not the good guys in this conflict.
Yeah,
right. War movies, just the whole tenor changes
and
from
that
point moving forward.
You just touched on it, Brian. I think the most important thing to remember about that film is there are no heroes in it.
Yeah.
Even Elias, and Elias is the one that you end up sympathizing with. Willem Dafoe's character, you end up sympathizing with him because he's the one that's actually looking out for his squad, whereas everybody else is a fucking piece of shit that just wants to go home, or they're Tom Berenger and they're a fucking psychopath. Right. Like, there are no heroes in that film, and even at the denouement when he goes home, he's sobbing. He's not sobbing like he's happy to go home. He is sobbing with the horror of war. And that is what we fade out on. That movie is so fucking potent. It's probably Oliver Stone's best movie.
I was going to say, like, this is like Oliver Stone able to encapsulate his like leftist bleeding heart the most, and not be unhinged.
Because it was him. It was like his experience. One of my earliest movie theater experiences, I was 6 when Platoon came out, and my dad was like, having served in Vietnam, was like, I got to go see this movie. And so we all went to the theater on a Friday night, and I'm 6. And my dad watched Platoon, and my mom and I watched Crocodile Dundee, and that's the end of that story.
Terrible story from a terrible man. And Brian, speaking of terrible stories, it is on you for your next pick.
Okay,
that's a great segue. That's right. Fuck you, Brian Martin, go.
Before I get to that pick, I have to. I wish this was a video medium because we were talking about Lord of the Rings, and one of the real amazing tricks of cinema in Lord of the Rings is the perspective that was forced to make the hobbits look smaller than every other adult human in the space. And no one but us can see this right now, but Sizzle, there's a door behind you that is either 5 feet away or 30 feet away. And I can't tell if it's a normal looking door that's 30 feet away or a really tiny door that's 5 feet away. And it's amazing.
It is a fire escape.
Who the hell's getting in there? Your kids?
Well, it's a 4-foot door fire escape to a crawl space ladder to get out of the house. I'm at the very back of the house.
Oh, okay.
Garage.
I see that there's light coming in from what I presume is a relatively large window you could jump through.
And then that's where I keep my models in my blanket of my own face.
Right. Nice.
You have a blanket of your own of course.
And then, over here is my record player and my laundry machine and my chimney at the back. I'm over my garage.
So chimney too. So there's at least 2 alternative paths out of the house that don't involve going through that door. Okay, got
it. What's the opposite of Narnia?
But then that is a cut door. That's not a normal sized door. That's a cut door.
No, you're bumping your head going into there. I just got to say.
But if you go close to the brick, you're good.
Great. No, it's like all my shit is burned down and I've got a concussion.
Just get out of you have to go low to get out of fire anyway, so you're already
that's a good point.
Do you not remember your fire safety protocol, sir?
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
I was expecting none of this on this here show. Brian, make your pick, please.
You sure? All right, so I'm going back to another year that is where I'm going to say not one film, but no less than 6 Best Picture nominees were wronged. The year was 2010. The movie that won was The King's Speech.
Yeah.
Which, it's a fine movie one time. But it was up against True Grit, Black Swan, Toy Story 3, The Social Network, and Inception. And Inception is what I'm picking.
Yeah, there it was.
My second choice.
Yeah.
There it is. There it is.
That was on my list.
Talk about it real quick, Brian.
I mean, if there was a Nolan movie that was going to win that isn't Oppenheimer, I think he's finally gunning for it this year, but we'll see. But I mean, Inception was the movie of 2010. It controlled the summer, man. And I mean, I know the Academy historically ignores movies that are like blockbusters. I think they're finally starting to feel a little bit more comfortable with movies like that. But Inception, just from an effects angle, from a story angle, everyone was talking about that thing all summer.
Dramon, was that top falling at the end of Inception?
Oh my God. Well, it looked like it was starting to wobble, so I'm thinking, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I would say it 100% fell over. That's my head canon. I'm sticking to it.
It never wobbled once. It was spun like crazy every time.
Mandela effect. It's Mandela effect. You think you saw it wobble. The whole society thinks they saw it wobble.
They did.
There is one wobble. There is one wobble before that cuts to black. There's one.
I think he's still inside.
You think he's still inside, Leslie?
I think he's still inside.
What's your thoughts on this movie, ma'am? You, Leslie, what's your thoughts?
Me? Oh, sorry. My bad. I really enjoyed it. I have been fond of lucid dreaming and that whole concept for a long time. And so the way that's sort of built into the film, being aware in your dreams and the idea of being able to go deeper and deeper, it's just absolutely fascinating. But yeah, I think his wife was right. I think he's still stuck inside. Feeling a lot of unnecessary guilt.
Carol, is this the sexiest Tom Hardy has been in a movie?
Ooh, that's tough.
His face isn't covered.
His face isn't covered, so that's a plus.
Plus,
and you don't forget the lobster scene in the first Venom.
I'm trying to forget the lobster scene because I want to find him attractive. Probably because he's wearing nice suits.
Yeah. It's the suits that do it for you. It's the suits that do it for you. Sizzle Chest, are you an Inception fan?
I am. I love practical effects, and I've watched the behind the scenes of that hallway scene like probably more than I've watched the movie Inception. Like, I love the spinning sequence. I thought that was amazing. Like, yes.
Winston,
if I may, so it did wobble. He's not in the dream, but the point is his wife is right. Even though he did get out of the dream, he's still stuck inside. He'll never be able to mentally escape.
He's stuck metaphorically
because of the implications.
I found the as much as it controlled the summer, as much as it dominated conversation, I found the did it fall or did it not dialogue to be just the height of banality that summer. I was like, what are we getting at? Like
I would
there's no way to win this argument.
You show that it's got the lasting effect with the banality of that argument, right? Like, everyone's like, yeah, I saw Avatar, it sucks. Well, why did you go see it then? I don't know, because everybody told me to. Versus, and also for the record, I've never seen any of the Avatar movies on purpose to like not be that. But the banality of did it weeble, did it wobble, did it fall down is the lasting effect of the movie. It did have a lasting effect. I think it's cool that it does.
Yeah.
All right, right on. Mr. Jackson.
Do you want to say any final words about the Avatar films while we're here?
No. That's an extra 15 minutes we don't need.
No. Yes, I do. Y'all are fucking stupid. Those movies are good and they're entertaining, and shut up.
There you go. That's the final word on Avatar here on Poprika. The final
Thank
word.
you, Leslie. Winston,
Jamon.
shut up.
Jamon, it's on you.
All right.
Let me just write this down now.
I'm gonna go ahead and probably play to my strengths here, and we're gonna go ahead and pick that movie that it's usually we saw it in the perfect place in a seedy ass looking warehouse. Pulp Fiction.
There it is.
Pulp fucking Fiction.
There it is. This motherfucker has drafted Pulp Fiction 75 times.
We haven't even had that many drafts, and somehow
that's what like the announcer at the Oscars would say as he's going up on stage to take his like Draftamania championship trophy. He drafted Pulp Fiction 75 times in various drafts.
All right, let's see who we got on here. Carol, what's your thoughts on Pulp Fiction?
It was on my list. It was actually the one I was going to choose next. Damn it! I absolutely love Pulp Fiction. I'm not a huge Tarantino fan, but I love Pulp Fiction. It's like the best of everybody, and Samuel L. Jackson was robbed that year of Best Supporting Actor.
We'll never forgive the Academy for that.
Robbed, 100% robbed. Winston, what you got on Pulp Fiction?
Great movie. So much fun. Great dancing. Great.
Quick question for you there, Sizzle. What's of the various segments? You got the Butch segment, you got the Date with Mia segment, you got Jules and Travolta book ending. What's your favorite?
I love when the two are in the apartment and like they do the suitcase thing, but the tension and then also Sam Jackson's interaction with them about the Royale, like this is a good fucking burger. Like the whole bit there, I'm like, the first time watching it, I remember going like, I don't know what's gonna happen here. Like I'm scared right now for these people in this apartment. Like that is my favorite sequence.
Did you notice in that sequence that when they step away, there are bullet marks in the wall behind them, through them?
I think I saw that years later. Like somebody had pointed that out and like, oh yeah, there it is. But at the time, no, I'm just like staring at Sam Jackson's face, also clutching a cup with a straw, just going.
I think that scene is really great because it's like, for the benefit of anybody who didn't see Reservoir Dogs and you're wondering who Tarantino is as a filmmaker, here's a quick summary.
Yeah.
Yeah, right on, right on. Good call, good call. Carol Coles is back over to you. Pulp Fiction, not available.
I'm gonna go with The Exorcist.
What?
Oh, damn it.
That's
I
not even
thought
on
it was
my,
safe. I
not
thought
on
it
my
was safe.
list. How did I miss that?
I thought it was safe too, man. God damn, that was gonna be my next pick. Fuck. Nice pick, Carol. Nice pick.
Proved that horror can actually be a good film.
Yeah, goddamn right.
I don't necessarily believe in Satan, but I love this film.
Hell yeah.
Satan doesn't need you to believe in him.
No, and we learn in 2, it's not even Satan, it's Pazuzu, but
Pazuzu.
whatever. Just magnificent practical effects, magnificent makeup, and I'm not even talking about Reagan in full Pazuzu mode. I'm talking about Father Merrin, because Max von Sydow was only 42 when he did this damn film.
That movie's the reason we always think of him as a 78-year-old man.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
yes.
envision him as being born 42 and just spouting Ibsen or something when he came out.
Him and Morgan Freeman both.
And when he was 78 in The Force Awakens, he still looked like Father
looked
Merrin,
like The Exorcist, so that's some damn good makeup.
Leslie, as far as The Exorcist is concerned, where is that in like your all-time horror movies? Is it on that list?
It's not a go-to for me. It's not a go-to for me. I do enjoy it. It was on my list. And I enjoyed the release where they have the flashes of Pazuzu in the first film, that director's cut, I think. But I wasn't allowed to watch it when I was younger. So it was something I didn't see until I was in my 20s, I think, mid-20s. Yeah.
Right on. Jamon, did you check out The Exorcist?
Absolutely not.
That is not a surprising answer. Yeah,
that's what I was hoping.
I ain't fucking with that devil shit.
Right on. Strange enough, he'll try to draft Hellboy later on in this list. All right, it is over to me. I'm going to go ahead and get The Godfather Part 2 off the list. Make sure I have some Godfather on here for the people who know good film.
Pandering. Panderer.
The wank fest continues. Yes, I will be pandering on this. It is not my favorite of the Godfathers. Godfather Part 1 is my favorite, but I respect what they do. That is, if like Leslie said earlier, it is the descent of Michael Corleone is what you get in The Godfather. It is the completion of that descent that you get in Part 2, and fully losing his soul by the ordering of the murder of his brother Fredo in there, and all that entails. That shows he's a very smart man, a very capable man, but can't quite understand why people don't love him the way people love his father, and he does not realize it's because his father ruled through respect, while Michael rules through fear.
Fredo broke his heart, though.
Fredo broke his heart, man. I love you, Fredo. You broke my heart. I knew it was you. Wednesday, what you got on Godfather Part 2? Are you a Part 1 or Part 2 guy?
I'm a Part 1 guy. Part 2 is still, so insanely solid, like deserving. I got nothing bad to say about Part 2.
Nothing bad to say about it. What about you, Pete?
No, I don't have anything bad to say about that movie. It's very, very good, but like I will agree with Winston. I'm a Godfather Part 1 man. Like the original is set the tone. It's the best. I love the world building. The progression of the story and everything, but the inception of that series will always be the best.
Oh, done and done. And Sizzle Chest, sir, it is over to you for your first of two, your second pick and third pick.
First pick, we're going to go to 2020 with Jojo Rabbit.
Nice.
Nice.
First of all, I recommended it to everyone the second I saw it, and a buddy of mine texted me, and he's like, "Is Sam Rockwell about to make me love a Nazi?" And I said, "Yes." Yes, he is.
Yes, yes, he is.
And,
that is a Nazi he doesn't want to punch.
Yeah, like just the world's best Nazi, Sam Rockwell.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah.
Get that on a mug.
And you know, like I'm watching it and the shoes, and I'm just like, no. Like that movie was I remember when it got nominated, and I was like, they're not gonna give the silly Hitler movie Best Picture, but it was, man, it was so great. It was fun and funny and heartwarming, and like just an excellent film.
Just an excellent film. Carol, what you got on Jojo Rabbit?
I knew they were focusing too much on her shoes.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Jojo's little friend with his cardboard uniform.
Oh.
That little kid was so amazing. Yep. His little tubby friend with his glasses, and in
delightful
the end,
pudgy Nazi kid. Oh man.
And they've got him dressed in cardboard because they can't afford uniforms anymore.
He's like the Nick Frost.
Yeah.
Like the young Nick Frost adventures.
Yeah, it's a beautiful film.
It is a beautiful film. Winstead, you got anything on Jojo?
Yeah, it was good. It wasn't on my list. I really like Jojo Rabbit. You know, I thought that if there's a way to handle that with taste, you know, having Hitler appear on screen. But yeah, I mean, it was, you know, it was really kind of like a weird coming of age story, but also dealt with like these crazy themes that, you know, Taika Waititi was able to juggle kind of like gracefully.
Agree.
If you're gonna have a Hitler, it needs to be played by Taika Waititi.
Yeah.
With his fake gut and all.
That year also, like every single Best Picture nominee, with the exception of one, not only deserved to be there, but that was a high quality year.
That was a hot year.
Wait a minute, what was the exception?
Joker.
Yeah, all right, good point. Good point. Very good point. Did not deserve to be on that list. Sizzle, what is your second pick, sir?
Okay, we're gonna time travel, not back to the 30s, but we are gonna time travel a little bit back to the year 2000. I was deep into the Toonami clutches and watching all of my favorite, like, you know, animes, and then Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon came out.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
yes.
I was like, okay, well, this is all I want to watch forever now. Thank you. Like the end. Like it was beautiful, and it was somehow like it was like the characters were captivating. I loved the martial arts sequences, obviously. Like I had done a bunch of like the Jet Li and Jackie Chan and like all the way back to Bruce Lee at that point. Like I was way deep down that well. And I wasn't normally big on like the string fu stuff, but this was a really cool way to do it. It was like a magical kind of way to do it. It felt otherworldly. And the fact that an American institution would give them the Best Picture nod made me really happy at the time, and still does to this day.
German, what do you have on Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, sir?
Dude, the choreography aside, like it was the cinematography in that film was just gorgeous. Mm-hmm. Especially that scene when they're flying from the trees and everything.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
God, I love that film.
Good call. Good call. Thanks a lot for that.
It was 100% on my list.
Yes, it was 100% on my list. It was the next thing that I was just about to draft. So that's thanks. I appreciate that. So, that movie's the reason why I filled Calculus, by the way.
I need to.
Did you just have like people floating through trees? It was like a math problem. It's like if someone falls from a tree and you're like, shit, they don't fall from trees.
What's the tangent here?
I have to tell this story about when I saw Crouching Tiger in the theaters. I went and I knew it was going to be subbed. It was subtitled. So I was very excited about that. I wanted to see, you know, it took me a while to come around to sub, not dubbed, but I've seen the dubbed version of that movie and it's fucking stupid.
It's terrible.
I can't believe they got Ray Romano to do the voice. I'll tell you that.
So I go to the theater and
float through these trees now.
so I go to the theater and there's not a whole lot of people in there, but there is this group of guys back behind me. And there's, obviously in the movie, they're speaking Mandarin and everything. And the people behind me are making fun of the language. Like, every time they'll go, like they'll make fun of it. And I was just like, shut the fuck up. And then that first fight scene happened when old
girl steals the sword,
having a blank when she steals a sword and Michelle Yeoh goes and tries to stop her, and then they have that run across the fucking rooftops, and like that whole way that was shot, that shut those fuckers up, and they did not speak the rest of the film. Like it was just one of those, like I think they thought they were just going to come in and make fun of a foreign film, and they got shut down real quick because of that scene. Like that scene was so jaw-droppingly brilliant that it made them stop. They didn't say another thing the rest of the movie, and I was very happy about that.
All the best movies shut racists up.
Yeah, goddamn right they do.
Good call. It is a great movie by all accounts. It was the first DVD ever owned. I love the fuck out of that movie. And yes. It's over to me. I'm going to go ahead and take Arrival off the list.
That movie's butt.
I don't like it.
Wait! Did you just say?
Did Pete just say butt?
Yeah.
You just
Bot
say
has weighed in.
Did you say
butt.
Arrival is butt?
Yes, it's butt.
Like crunchy butt? No,
I would rather watch the Charlie Sheen movie, The Arrival.
No,
I would rather watch. Oh, dude, I hate
God.
it. I hate that movie
I
so
thought
bad.
we were friends, Pete.
What about that movie? Is Cheeks to you, Pete?
Oh, dude, just so it because it's such a it's a fucking drag, man. That's all I can say. It's just a drag. Like from the word go, and then they spend all that time trying to figure out then the circle language, and that's cool. I like the building of the trying to figure it out, but then like it's just one of those movies where I don't feel like anything happens. No characters' lives are enriched by what happens in that film. Yeah,
she has a baby. The baby has a whole experience. What are you talking about?
Nah. The movie's butt.
Oh God. I've never wanted to kick somebody off a draft so hard. Arrival.
I get it. I know people liked it. It was just one of those movies where I'm just sitting there watching it going, this is like pointing at the screen going, people like this? This is fun. Like, this is good.
So on last year's sci-fi list, I named Arrival as the best science fiction movie of all time because I do believe
you're horribly wrong.
Incorrect.
You are horribly
I don't know
wrong.
about that, but it's up there.
It's up there. Damn straight it's up there because it's number one.
Pete's like, has he even seen Starship Troopers?
Seriously.
Jamon, do you have anything on Arrival?
Starship Troopers is better than Arrival.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
Thank you,
No.
Mark Melchior.
There's a weird weight to watching that kind of fascism now. Watching that movie holds up real well.
But what it wasn't was nominated for Best Picture. Jamon, what do you have on
that's
Arrival?
true.
It was definitely a slow burn, but once I finally sat down and like watched it, I was like, this is just a beautiful, beautiful film from beginning to end.
It is definitely a movie that exists.
God damn.
Wrong.
Whoop your ass.
I know. I'm so bad. I know.
We're gonna watch Jamon crawl through Zoom boxes to get to Pete. Leslie, do you have anything on Arrival?
Other than it being the next on my list. And honey, we're gonna have to redo our reception and not have Pete there.
Hey,
Pete,
come on now. I played
give us
good
the
song.
money back that we paid for you for that reception.
Hey, we can see if we can get the Peatbot 3000 to do the music.
The Pete-Bot 3000 is pre-programmed to hate that movie as well. It's his stock programming.
However, loved the movie. I loved the realization of how the intercut scenes were not necessarily flashbacks.
Yep.
I loved the way that the story drew you in with that, and just all of it. I thought it was very, very beautiful. The realities of trying to actually converse with a whole nother species. You know, you can't just be like, you trying to war with us? They don't know what that is, you know?
You want to war aliens? All right.
I mean, that's what they wanted to know. That's what the army wanted to know. Are they going to attack? Do they want to fight? Do they want to kill us? She's like, do they understand the concept of they?
Right on.
So just I really enjoyed that aspect of it. The building of language and communication. And yeah.
Right on. You heard it here from Leslie Mansell first. Aliens, they, them pronouns. Let's move on over to Carol Coles, man. Carol, what you got? It is your pick, ma'am.
I am going to, well, I got to get some Coen brothers on here. I'm going to go with Fargo.
There it is.
That was my next pick. All right. Dag nabbit.
Talk about it.
I love this film. Has there ever been a better police depiction than Marge? Just love her.
Marge Gunderson.
She's just awesome. 8 months pregnant, she's taking down the bad guys. I love the fact that they said this is a true story and somebody actually believed them and froze to death searching for the damn money.
What? I didn't know that part.
Joking. Yeah.
Wow.
Some Japanese lady thought this was a true story and went searching for that bag of cash.
Oh, that's sad.
It is sad. It is sad. But
humble brag, I worked on that movie.
Really?
Yeah, I was going to come to you next there, sir. What you got on this? You are a Coen's brothers dude, if I remember correctly.
So I grew up in Minnesota, and so Fargo is everywhere, you know. And you're gonna want that top coat.
Yeah.
But and I remember driving by like where they were shooting some of the scenes and all that. I mean, Fargo was huge. It was definitely on my list. Yeah, Fargo's one of the Coen's top.
Such a
three,
cool
top
film.
three.
That is top
I
tier.
feel so
Coen,
cold
sure.
watching it, but
Yeah.
it's so I just love it.
You said
just a great cast of characters.
Oh God, yeah.
You say Coen's is one of the top three. What's your number one?
Oh man. I mean,
Blood
Fargo would be in the conversation. Blood Simple would be in the conversation, but probably their best picture winner. I think it won that year. Did it win that year? No Country.
No Country. Yeah, No Country won.
Yes.
That's a straight banger.
It's on my list.
It's
But I went
on all our
Fargo
lists.
because as much as I love Javier Bardem in No Country for Old Men, I watch Fargo far more often than I do No Country.
And it spun off into a successful show on FX, which is what, 4 seasons in?
Yeah.
Is
Really
it,
good show, incidentally.
Really good. Yep.
I've never seen an episode of it.
The first two seasons are
Horrific.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the seasons are each a different story.
Mhm.
They don't continue. So yeah.
Anthologies.
Mhm.
All right, right on it. Jermon Juicy J. Jackson. It is over to you, sir. Where are you going? Whatever
All
you're
right,
about to
we're
pick,
gonna-
Brian looks unimpressed.
Yeah, we're I'm going to go ahead and stay in that Coen Brothers bag. And speaking of which, No Country for Old Men.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. All right. All right. Building an interesting case here.
Yeah, and it's not very often, like, 'cause I think one of the problems with villains in this day and age is they make them way too sympathetic sometimes,
Mhm.
to the point where you're almost well, he's got a point there. You're rooting for him. Anton Chigurh, there were no redeeming qualities about him.
He's no Killmonger.
Yeah.
Not even his haircut. Not even his haircut.
He was strictly a force of nature. There was no negotiating with him. There was no nothing. It was just, if he showed up, you're going.
Right on. Right
Well,
on.
I don't know. Depends on the flip of the coin.
Depends on the flip
Well,
of the coin.
that's
true.
Did the gas station clerk get out of it alive?
Yep,
He did.
he won.
He did. Man, all about the flip of the coin. Does anybody else have anything on No Country for Old Men? Sizzle, what's your thoughts on that movie?
I actually do, if you don't mind. So like because 2007 was a hot year for the Oscars. Like that was like it's still to me one of the most contested ones, just because it was like that and There Will Be Blood, like alone, those two. And then Atonement, which I think doesn't get the love that it should. I love Atonement. I went to the theater for like all 5 movies. They did like a sit down in your jammies all day, like in a sleeping bag, pee in the cups, like that kind of thing. Like
that was not advertised.
It didn't say to, but there was nods. And like
there was nods.
There was nods.
Like yeah, like
you got your cup, right?
Like yeah. But like that I remember like watching that Oscars on bated breath, going like, I don't know which one it is. Like, I don't know which one it is. And no matter what they were gonna say, I was gonna be like, yeah, that's right. Yep. And like, I do think about that gas station scene every single time I think about that movie because of the tension that was in that scene. Like that coin flip, I was like, this guy has nothing to do with this situation. If that was like the pin in the he is a force of nature as a villain, like moment right there where it's like, this guy's got nothing to do with it. Why are you going to kill him? It doesn't matter. It's up to the forces of nature. Flip. Like that was that scene.
That was that scene. I agree. It is a good movie. Bad guy kind of gets away. I'm always happy about that, man. And the forces of bad and the forces of good is a push in that movie, I think. Broly killed off screen.
Bad guy gets away, but his car gets fucked up.
His car gets, I'm pretty sure he'll have no problems finding another car based on past behaviors. Brian, it is on you, sir.
No, we talked about Goodfellas, but nobody actually drafted Goodfellas, right?
Correct. Now is your chance to go with Ben-Hur.
Yeah, I'll go. I'm gonna go with Goodfellas here, and I do so only because it was the last remaining pick from my round 1 selection that I hadn't gotten to, and because Fargo was just taken off the board. So Goodfellas it is.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Talk about Goodfellas.
Well, like we've said previously, it is one of, if not the quintessential gangster movie.
Wankfest.
It is absolutely. It's a movie that I was on the fence about drafting just because it's like, oh, this is a movie that every guy cites as like their favorite movie of all time. And I don't want to go that far, but I mean, like, credit where credit's due. This movie has got some fucking merits, and it absolutely deserves to win in 1990 when the winner was Dances with Wolves.
Oh.
And I wonder, and this is all those things. Yeah, where you got to wonder if it would have had a better shot if Godfather Part 3 hadn't released that same year. Even though I don't know how many people in the Academy voted for that one. 2 mob movies could have split the vote.
Yep.
But yeah, to me, Goodfellas is like, it feels weird to say quintessential Scorsese, but it is. In a career just loaded with hits. I think Goodfellas is maybe the most rewatchable of them all.
Agreed. I think it is the most rewatchable of them all.
It's a hoof.
Dances with Wolves, first movie at 8 years old. I walked out of. I tapped my mom and I was like, "Can we please go, Mom? Because I'm bored by this movie." And she's like, "Yeah, okay, let's get out of here." I think she's also bored by that movie.
Daryl invented the phrase "meh" in 1990 when he was in the theater watching Dances with Wolves.
Hey, Daryl, I heard you went and saw Dances with Wolves. What'd you think? Leslie, you've seen Goodfellas, man. What's your thoughts?
Turned in a book review written in crayon, a movie review written in crayon,
and it was a 3-word review. This is bullshit. Leslie, what's your thoughts on Goodfellas?
That I haven't seen it nearly recently enough to have many thoughts. It's been a while.
It's been a while. Understandable. What about you, Pete?
That movie's bad as fuck.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's bad as fuck, dude. It's another one of those movies where there is no wasted space on film. There's no dumb scene. There's no part of that film that doesn't lend itself to either the overall narrative or the ambiance of what's going on, including all of the pregnant pauses between characters that talk. Like, it is all in service to the grander narrative, and I am fucking here for it, dude. That movie's so unbelievably good.
So
and the best comeuppance, I think, in movie history. That last moment, the final moment. No, Joe Pesci, that's great.
Where it gets egg noodles and ketchup.
Yeah, like the final moment of that movie is just, look at how miserable this bastard is. You know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's like you deserve this.
And if you watch
I just watched your story. You deserve what you're getting.
And you can actually watch that movie and then immediately watch My Blue Heaven as a double feature and really get the full experience.
Yes, you can.
You're the worst.
Oh, I love My Blue Heaven. God damn it. That
movie's so good. Only person that does. Pete, it is on you.
Whatever.
Don't watch My Blue Heaven.
My Blue Heaven's fantastic.
If you say so. It's on you, Pete.
Sip it. All right. So we're going to Sherman setting the Wayback Machine for the late 70s right now. This is, in my opinion, is one of the greatest movies that's ever been made. I'm going to pick One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Wow.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking, I was like, Caligula wasn't nominated.
Should have been. Shout out to Helen Mirren. Should have been.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
My hall pass. My old hall pass. Helen Mirren.
Your hall pass only has about 4 years left on it, buddy.
I gotta get on that shit.
Talk about
won the Oscar that year.
Mm-hmm.
Just about all of
them. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It's an absolutely phenomenal film. It's another one of those where it's probably one of Jack Nicholson's best performances. The Jack Nicholson, even though he's the main character of the story, he is not the hero of that story. He certainly helps them, helps the ward be happier and be happy with who they are, but he's not the real winner at the end of that movie. Chief is the winner of that film. And if you look at that movie, like McMurphy like gets everybody else to feel cool about being in the ward, right? Chief is the only one that makes him okay about being in there. And then, and Chief is ultimately the one that delivers his ending. Yeah. Snuffs him out and then walks out the fucking ward and is done. He's probably one of the only people that shouldn't be in there.
Leslie, you watched this recently, didn't you? You weren't a big fan of this movie.
I quit watching it. I did not finish it. I watched over half of it. And...
Is it because you like Arrival? Was that why you didn't finish it?
I didn't understand all of the Nurse Ratched hate, honestly.
There's a woman doing her job.
I did not finish the film, but we have this man who's put into this ward who is clearly
a piece of shit. Say it.
Yes, he's clearly a dick. He's clearly just trying to bring chaos. She's doing her job, and I just kind of got bored.
Right. I would argue that she's only doing her job for about half the film. I think there's a turning point in the movie where Ratched becomes a little vindictive in the way she governs the ward. And I think a lot of it has to do with McMurphy's effect on the other patients. That I think she thinks ultimately that she knows best and his help isn't appreciated. So I think she kind of goes beyond being, and this is where I think a lot of that hatred comes from, is I think she goes beyond being just a nurse doing her job and is actually now pointedly not attacking him, but is pointedly doing her best to shut him up because she sees him as disruptive.
My favorite antagonist, some of my favorite antagonists are the people who are just doing their job.
Like the Nazis.
I was following orders, man. I'm just following orders. The Judgment at Nuremberg is a Best Picture nominee, by the way. And except for the ones who take it a little too far. Looking at you, Principal Rooney, took things a little bit too far. But I'm a fan of people who are just doing their jobs. You got anything
I don't think Ratched took it too far. I think she got a little vindictive, and because she is seen as the antagonist in the film, that's the moment where you're like, okay, well, she's the villain, but she's not a villain.
But I think that movie does show the failings of our institution system.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Because she was doing her job. Mm-hmm. And that's just how she was taught to do her job. And it was a kind of a failure of how the institution was run.
Systemic issue.
Yeah.
Right.
Which
and I
we
think
still
that movie
have.
exactly. And that's one of the reasons why I think that movie is so important, is because it shines a light on the systemic issue with mental health and institutionalization. And even back in 76 when it won, I believe it won in 76. 75. All right. Some of my dates for whatever are messed up on my sheet here. But I think even back then there was a movement to address the stigma of mental health. And I think it's just a super important film, and it absolutely deserved to win Best Picture because it's just an amazing movie.
Right on.
To be clear, I am not pro Nurse Ratched, and I didn't stop because I thought she was getting too much hate from the people. And with that in mind, I may give it another try, because I wasn't thinking of the condemnation of our institutionalization here, as an aspect. But yeah, I essentially just got bored and was like, okay.
Yeah. On top of
He's
all that,
an ass. She's
boring.
Whatever.
It really, I will tell you, Leslie, it really does the movie does come to a head in the final 15 minutes of the movie. I
mean, I would tell you the same thing about Arrival, but
I mean, I watched all of Arrival. I still hate it. I watched all of my movie I don't like. Maybe you could kind of do